Okay, Saturday, July the 5th, 2015, and back on the road once again, though still not fully functional. Haven't had anything done to the hip yet, but still trying to avoid the knife. However, today was such a glorious day that I just had to come out and do a bit of walking. This is a 7.5 mile, what a short distance that is, circular of Blakeney, but 7.5 mile is a safe distance for me, not to aggravate anything at the moment. So, as I say, it's a glorious day, up in the high 20s, nice cool breeze as well. So let's see how we go on. This is a walk taken from Norfolk District Council's website, which has a very good interactive map, I would add, and you can download these walks very easily. So I suggest you have a look at that when you're up this way. Let's get cracking. Initially the walk follows the Norfolk coast, the North Coast, I'll get this right in a minute, the Norfolk coast path, which is well marked, and then veers off after Cley. Tide appears to be coming in. Number of sealed trips from this place in season. Quite busy today, as you'd imagine, it being a weekend, which is unusual for me, and a pleasant day. Okay, next to the village duck pond, Cley being 2 3/4 miles hence. Don't recall this being here when I was last doing the Norfolk coast path several years back, but might be wrong. Don't know if you can pick that up, but there's plenty of warblers in that reed over there. Can't see them, so they could be reed or sedge. Someone with more knowledge of their song will probably enlighten me. Out in the distance there is something that isn't so attractive. Massive wind farm. Believe that to be Wells again. Lost and abandoned craft over there. At least it looks like. A solitary house as well. I think it's the house on Blakeney Point. Wonderful skylarks. Hopefully you can hear that. And not any wind. This surface has certainly been improved since I was last here doing the Norfolk coast path. Very wheelchair friendly, etc, etc. Symbol on this gate that I do not recognise. Oak leaf. Woodland Trust? Not sure. Anyway, that's the alternative path through to the village. Lovely backdrop there with Blakeney Church in the distance. Pleasant this afternoon, this lovely breeze. Pair of are they snipe? Don't know. Anyway, they weren't the oyster catchers that I thought they were. Obviously a warning note, they've got a nest over there, I should imagine. This has now reverted back to stony track around halfway towards Cley. Could well be that the initial section I've just walked was washed away by the storm of 2013, I don't know. Very feasible, bearing in mind the damage it did. Now on the Cley side of the eye, and in the distance there you've got Wiveton Downs, I believe, which is where we're ultimately headed. Very pleasant out here. Information panel here telling us about the changing coastline, and of course I notice over there's the acorn. Shows how out of touch I've been for a little while. National Trust. Dear me. Anyway, hopefully you'll be able to zoom into this if you need to. In a nutshell, the River Glaven has changed course. New footpath has resumed. Now notice alongside it they've planted something that looks like rape, but clearly it isn't. It's a yellow flowering shrub. There is a lot of what I believe to be sea lavender out there. Looking at the stems of this plant that they've sown along the banks, and judging by the smell, it certainly is not dissimilar to rape. A bit late in the season though for that. Approaching the small village of Cley. With its famous windmill there. This village was badly hit by the storm of December 2013 because I've seen the photos. Water was right up on the high street. An unusual sound in the background up there. An aircraft. Usually the only aircraft sounds you get around this way are ex-war planes or modern fighter jets practicing their manoeuvres. So there we go, Cley's famous windmill. Looks like it's had a lick of paint ready for this season. Just opposite the windmill there's this lonely solitary seat in memory of Tim Lubbock. Serve as an appropriate rest spot so I can have a sandwich. It's about 5:15 now, so good timing. So thanks to Mr. Lubbock, who I noticed only lived to be 43 or possibly 2. That was a very pleasant lunch or early supper, surrounded by goldfinches for the most part of it. Greenfinch there in the background, up on the top of that bush. Information panel here telling us about the Blakeney Neighbourhood Housing Society Limited. To keep your eyes out for the circular discs, this one being placed under the 30 mph speed limit. At the back of Cley is where the real action is, away from the touristic Chelsea set. Hence I wouldn't have known about that Blakeney Housing Association Limited if I hadn't have come up the back here. Another local Norfolk delicacy, samphire, £2 a bag. Wonder if I should take some for Phil. Then next to the village hall, built in 1978, good year that, anarchy in the UK and all that. Probably the year before, but not to worry. And the footpath continues through these allotments. What a wonderful place. Fresh local produce in season. Okay, first point, I was wrong about going through the allotments. You don't. You continue on the tarmac road up to this point in front of this brick and flint house, and then cut through this alleyway by the looks of it. The first thing you come upon is this lovely church. Pretty impressive. Bit of an old ruin here at the back. Big churchyard. Jackdaws in attendance as usual. The interesting thing is, in the far distance, well, not so very far, you've got another impressive church, one of which we could see from the earlier path. Okay, this is St Margaret's of Cley, and from another angle. Now this place has been absolutely ruined by some modern art. That's a load of CDs over there. And just on my right is some bizarre thing called a tetrahedron. 21 tetrahedrons, 15 shape of the 70s. Now if someone's getting paid for that, that is absolutely unbelievable. Someone called Nick Ball. Absolute disgusting. Not my cup of tea at all, this. It's meant to be a garden of rest, not an art museum. Shape of the 60s, a load of 7-inch singles. Unbelievable. Ruins the place. God forgive him. We then come upon a pub called the Three Swallows, so definitely a summer. We've got this wonderful vehicle parked outside. Do believe the onward journey is up here towards Wiveton, past the village green. Lovely smell of mown hay over there on this field. Wiveton Bridge over there, which we'll be crossing shortly. Back at the edge of Cley from Wiveton Bridge. Crystal clear water, brown trout over there. And there's that interesting church. Find out the name of that in a minute, hopefully. And a marsh over the other side of the bridge, again marked private. Lots of that up here. territorial. Builder's left his mark on that house there, or the flint merchant, whatever you call them. 1930. Okay, let's see if we can find a name though. Okay, it's called St Mary's of Wiveton, as opposed to the last St Margaret's. What a wonderful church of St Margaret's you've got in the distance. As I say, it's not very distant, probably half a mile. A reflection of times gone by. And look at this wonderful meadow, absolutely crawling with butterflies and bees. Fantastic. Looks like it's been left by Anne Catherine Briggs, who died in 2009. Again, not very old. 55. Interesting, because people tend to live a long time up here. A parting shot of St Mary's, and just behind me is another pub, the Wiveton Bell. Onwards and upwards past the village car park. Big porkers there, basking in the mud. Skylarks all around. Sounds like the black cap again. Can't see it though. I get confused, see the black cap or the white throat. Would be good to see it. So you walk past this little car park, and it certainly is wonderful for birds. Just listen. Chiff chaff. That I do not recognise. Already seen a black cap, I believe. Sounds like a thrush. So this is Blakeney Esker SSI, where you can see linnets. God, I haven't seen one of those for years, amongst others. Now this is not the official path back, which is a shame actually. I think it should be. Wonderful country. Gorse. Beautiful bird territory. Just listen to them. So here we are, turn right, 1.25 miles to Blakeney along a permissive bridleway, which is only about 100 yards from the gate I was at a second ago. Interesting. Path going the other way goes to Glanford. One thing you'll note is that the barley and wheat is now very close to being ready. Vegetation has changed here, kale or whatever you call it. Listen to that skylark. Wonderful. It's kind of echoing here, just like a Bose sound system. Just seen a hare in amongst this kale. And a giant bird of prey, which I initially thought was a buzzard, but it wasn't. Tail was too long. Probably a goshawk again. Unsure. Could have been a harrier. don't know. Didn't get it on camera anyway. He's now coming back into view. Can't be far from Blakeney. What a wonderful cacophony of skylark song. Got the sea over on my right as well. That's where we were a few minutes ago, well, an hour or so ago. With the church in the distance. And the other church over there on my left. Walking along a pleasant green lane, having just walked through a farmyard with Blakeney marshes in the distance. Wonderful. Just getting a bit overcast now and cooler. Very pleasant at this stage of the walk. I think they're lovely giant alumina or something like that. Like corn flower, but they're not. Well disguised toad there. Nearly trod on him, thinking it was a stone, but he moved at the last minute. Across this little road, on through these white gates. Wonderfully positioned house up there on the bump. Massive transition here between the green on the field edge and the brown out in the middle. Not sure what the farmer's going to do about that. Little bit of a trick here. Could do with a sign on that pine there, I think. But the actual route is right here towards the house on the hill. Wonderful song in the background. Thrush or blackbird? I'd say thrush. Across the main coast road, and next to the Blakeney sign there's a footpath sign. That's our direction. That crossing there is quite dangerous because you're walking up a camber and cars come around the corner, they can't see you. Very dodgy. I would suggest going against the country code and crossing directly in front of you immediately and walking up on the right side to save your life. It's quite a busy road, that. Watership down here. Plenty of rabbits about. What a wonderful view of Blakeney marshes here. This lovely crimson hollyhock in the foreground and the marshes in the background. Birdsong everywhere. Little yachts in the harbour. I think we're going to join up with the coast path again now. 9 out of times. We had a storm last night, but it wasn't enough to wet anything really. Not sure why they're doing it out on these marshes though. Yes, and indeed we are back on the Norfolk coast path now. Very well manicured at this point again. There's an example of no doubt what the storm of December 2013 did. Lifted this all the way from out there where they'd normally be, up here by the coast path. So here we are, back at Blakeney, 2 hours 45 later, and officially around about 7.5 miles. I've just recorded 7, but then again I didn't set my pedometer on until I was a good way down that path over there. Very, very nice walk that. Highly recommended. No real grief from the hip either, which is good. So that's Norfolk County Council's circular walk, Blakeney via Wiveton and Cley, completed. Interesting.